Aradayami Manisannibam Atmalingam Mayapuri Hridayapankaja Sannivishtam Shraddhanadi Vimalachitta Jalabhishekaihi Nityam Samadhi Kusumair Napunarbhavaya Nityam Samadhi Kusumair Napunarbhavaya. I worship that beautiful lingam in the heart, Atmalingam, in the heart which is situated in the Mayapuri. Mayapuri means city of Maya, that is the illusory body. And for not being born again, what I'm doing, I am doing the Abhishekam or bathing the lingam with the clear water, pure chittam, pure thoughts. No, the chittam has become so pure, the mind has become so pure. With what? Because of Shraddha on the words of the words of Guru and scriptures. I just bow down to that Atmalingam. For what purpose? Not to be born again. Just be. Sure.
I would like to continue from here where Nilakantanji has told us this beautiful shloka. That what type of chitta or what type of mind we should have by which we cannot be born again. What type of mind? If you ask Bhagwan, he will say no mind, manonasha, mind should be destroyed. There shouldn't be any mind. Actually, mind means desire only. Because if you have no desire, there will be no thought. When there is no thought, there is no mind. So everything boils down to whether you have interest or not. So if you have no interest in anything, then what is left is pure chitta only. That is the Shiva consciousness only, if you have no interest. If you have interest, then there are coverings of this. So I'll tell you a beautiful secret about it is that treat everything always as whole. Person as whole, things as whole, everything as one. Don't try to tease, like some people love to tease, and this is different, this is religions different, these are the caste different, these are the people different, this is hierarchy, these are the things, classification, categorization. Some people love teasing apart, and some people just lump it together. So that undifferentiated is what we are. Undifferentiated means where we are not demarcating by any qualities, anyone, including us. And this is the beauty, this undifferentiated source, what we are. To reach that, we have to give complete rest to the mind. So rather than always analyzing, criticizing, liking, disliking, all this work of the mind, that keeps us into samsara. If you see, and just see unbiasedly, with all respect to all human beings on this earth, this world is going and expanding, and in materialistic world progressing only by vasanas, only by bad tendencies. Greed is making capitalism grow, isn't it? Greed, jealousy, competitiveness, anger, fear that I might lose, so I start acquiring more and more. All these things, lust, that all these things which we call as negative tendencies are leading to what we call as progression in the world and also destruction in the world. For both, only negative tendencies are responsible. Let's say if you are satisfied with whatever you have got, you will have a minimalist attitude. You will be living in a hut, just like our fellow owners of this land, aboriginals lived in Australia. How, whatever minimalist nowadays say, no one can be as minimalist as Aboriginals. And look, they lived they lived for 50, 60,000 years. We, the capitalist, actually killed them by diseases, by invading, or whatever. But see, to live, you don't need too many things. And actually, too many things have not created more happiness, probably less happiness. So, but the Maya, this illusion, this word, progresses not because of saints and sages and enlightened souls. No, 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 no. This word needs greedy people to progress, because what progress in capitalism is only money, only facilities, only technology, and then nuclear bombs and atomic bombs and warfares and all these things. Like how if you, even if you want to look for a minimalist, you will not find a minimalist like Bhagavan. Even the amount of cloth on his body was so minimal. Leave aside anything else. And the stick he used, he made that stick. So this is what it is. So this word and this progress and affluence, this is all coming from negative tendencies only, whether you believe it or not. A lot of people don't want to believe it because they think this is the progress of human being. From a stone age, we are here. But see, are we happy with all this? Acquiring all these things? Are we happy? And is that real happiness, that eternal happiness, what we talk about? And so the people who were born, let's say 1,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago, let's say when Jesus was there, more than 2,000 years back, he was an enlightened soul. But then there were a lot of miserable people around him. So enlightenment is not dependent on any of these things. Actually, you get more trapped. And if you go into teachings of Bhagavan as well, or non-duality teachings, Advaitic teachings, if you have any single desire, you are trapped. And in this capitalism, in materialistic world, you have not one desire, you have millions of desires. Desires never end. That's why we have this, what you call as progression. This progression is happening because of we want this, and we establish this, and then we create so many things in our house, gadgets and gadgets and gadgets. Just see 50 years back how many gadgets were there at people's houses. Now we need everything, one need, and then the small, and if you go, and then, but is it freedom? It is a more of a trap, because now you are dependent on so many things for your comfort. You can't live in a cave. Leave aside a cave, even a simple life with less gadgets. So if you see, more you differentiate, more you go in this differentiation, more you are trapped. More you just stay as raw, because you are that raw. You are that wholesome, undifferentiated awareness through which all this differentiation is coming out. But it is that pure awareness. If you believe in differentiation so much, you will always be in your mind, and you will be always critically analyzing everything, and you will segregate things. So this I am telling you, for your spiritual sadhana also, take as lump sum everything. Just accept everything, whatever, good, bad, thoughts, people, objects. Like, just see how Bhagavan used to eat. He used to be given so many delicacies, and he used to broke everyone's heart. He used to just mix it, everything, and just eat everything together. No different tastes. Not even for taste buds, he had no different. He did not believe even in different types of tastings. He used to mix everything and just eat. So, more you go in this undifferentiated thing, more everything is fine. More everything is fine, more the mind is settled. More the mind is settled, what is real there here you can see, because this is so subtle, this is so fine, this is so delicate, that it gets disturbed with any ripple in the mind. So if there is no ripple in the mind is calm and there's nothing, then you see what you are. It actually needs pin drop silence. You go to watch a play or symphony or something, some beautiful piece of music. People who are admirers, they keep perfect silence, and then you listen to it. So this inner silence, which actually talks to you, you can also listen to it. When you keep perfect silence within, perfect silence where mind is not causing any ripple of any sort for any reason and any time, then you listen to it. And once you listen to your own inner silence, which actually manifests through the body and it spreads around you, and then you know that this inner silence has now connected with the outer whole silence. It's like you realize your inner silence and then you realize everything around you as that same silence. It is the same connection. That connection is lacking right now because of this rippling of mind, because of these waves of mind. And the waves of mind are there because our energy is going in the external world or things or people or situations or whatever people are talking. Mind is so preoccupied with these things that even when you rest, you don't rest. Even when you sleep, you don't sleep. It's just like a ticking, 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 ticking. It's going on all the time, all the time, all the time. Sometimes you can see people, when you sit with people, even to meditate, they will be moving their legs or hands, or as soon as it finishes, they want to rush. Actually, the mind becomes so restless that it wants something to be done. If it's a Sunday, people plan on a Saturday that we will do morning this, then with this. People can't live an unplanned life. Like, okay, whatever happens, we will do. Yes, this is important. Okay, I'll do it. But people plan everything. I understand the government plans things because they have to put the budget. But all of us, we do too much of planning. And that too much of planning actually is keeping us in our mind. Staying in that undifferentiated, unplanned charter. Do only necessary planning. You don't have to do it, will happen for you. Someone will force you to do it, or because it's being needed at that moment, so you will do it. But if you give mind this excuse, oh no, look, some planning is needed, then you have given your mind to just enter with full force, and your life is always in mind. So try to be just in acceptance and just watch. Things are coming. We are doing a satsang. After satsang, maybe you might have dinner. Someone might give you a call. Things don't need to be planned. Things just happen. Some work comes. You don't look for work. Some people always look for work, but sometimes work is looking for you. You think today I will just have a restful sleep, and whole day some task is coming, something is not working, you have to fix up something in emergency. So if you decide to be in restful state all the time, then comes this beauty, this understanding, this knowledge within, that things are moving on its own while I am in my restful state. So the beings, objects, this body, these whatever you call as activities, they are just happening on their own. While you are always in a restful state, that is you only. That is your natural state. Whatever happens is happening on the screen, what you are. And you and things are so distant apart, like one is a matter, the other is energy. One is eternal, the other one is transient and changing, like pictures, images. But this will come to you only when you have given up all activities of the mind, at least for fraction of a second, so that thing what you are, you know. Because all the time what we know what we are is only mind. The moment the mind settles, you know yourself. The moment you know yourself, you are free. Then no one can fool you. There is no doubt left what you are. Just like you know your name, if someone calls, you know that that is your name. This is so easy and so perfect that again the mind cannot fool you. It can show tantrums after realization, or it can bring a tsunami of lot of thoughts and emotions. But now it cannot fool you. So you stay as what you are, and it comes. You know, everyone experiences this darkness after realization, without exception. I don't know about Bhagavan about that, because I don't think Bhagavan has explained this, or how intensely he went and transcended the mind that it didn't bother him, but almost all of us. Because after that realization, that thing of vasanas, they come with a vengeance, because they're trying their last attempt to pull you back into Maya. And with courage, with grace, you stand there in your own pure seeing, and it goes away, just like any thought which comes and goes. Sometimes in our life, we must have experienced that a thought came or a situation came which looks like non ending, which looks like it's the end of the world, which looks like so shameful. It looks like I'm so angry, so upset, like this is the worst moment of my life. And then what happened? We can't now remember those events, only vague memories of those events. Like you might had a crush on someone and now you don't even remember that person's name. This is only a trick of the mind. So once you understand trick of the mind, then mind can never deceive you, because you are the boss, you are the king. Mind is your servant, slave, not even slave or servant. It's nothing, it's like a gadget. You are infinite awareness. Mind cannot, if you think you are mind, actually you are bringing yourself to a very low level. It's a disgrace on you, not grace, but disgrace on you, on that Shiva within. That when you think that you are so lowly, egoistic person, actually you are hurting God within. You are bringing your level so low. Then there is no difference between animal or you in that sense, because animal thinks that he is just that body mind complex. In human being, there is a chance that you can get out of it by your efforts, by grace. Even efforts are by grace. And when you know this thing, by giving all your 100% attention, okay, let's say today I ask you that, okay, you want to be free, and you say, yes, I want to be free. And then you ask me, what can I do to be free? Then what can I say to you? Give me this much money, or, donate this much of money, or what else people have? I don't know. What can you do? Like sitting like in a posture, or doing some japa. What can you do? Like, what can make a person free? Tell me. Giving up your ego. But that's a very big ask, isn't it? Because most of us have lived this life to nurture our ego. And I'm asking you to be free, you have to give up your ego. Because all our standing, all this word, it's standing only on ego, on people's ego. Our progress is on ego because we want to make a mark, we want to leave a legacy, we want to prove to the world that we are some worth. The world wants that we all should be productive and some worth to the nation, to community. And that's what we kept trying to prove, and we keep going into this cycle of karma, action. It is very good for the progress of the world, but it is not good for your own seeing. You are not free, you are bonded, you are bondage labor. You are slave of your mind because of conditioning. And the society puts a lot of things on us. Fear of this thing, shame of this thing, behave like this thing. Actually, nothing exists. They exist only on our mind. We have been cultivated like that. There are societies which are barbaric societies. They don't follow those rules what any culture society follows. But they also live a life. Understand all these are constructs of the mind only. What the society gives, what our conditioning is, what our desires is. And I'll tell you, attention to awareness is that talisman, that magic, which dissolves everything in one go, like a clean sweep, sixer. You're out of the boundary. No small strokes, just one clean sweep. This is the power of this awareness. Otherwise, you see so many sects and religions, they talk about after 7 births you get enlightened. First you go into this step, then this, and so many steps. So many people used to come to Bhagavan to ask, is this liberation a stepwise process? And Bhagavan always said, all the steps is in illusory mind, in an ignorant person. The moment you know you are free, there are no steps. How can there be steps in it? Because you see some text talks about lot of types of hierarchy in enlightenment. Bhagavan never accepted it. If there is any hierarchy, hierarchy is only in the signpost. When you are reaching there, when you are at a distance, you feel that, you feel the fragrance, you feel the coolness. When you're going towards a mountain, you start feeling that nice cool breeze, fragrance, those birds, lot of silence, peace. That doesn't mean that you are there. It is just a signpost. You start feeling all those things comes before it comes. Unless if something happens like this. But how many people are so fortunate as Bhagavan? But when this process is a slow cooking process, you start smelling that there's something is cooking, isn't it? Before you see the dish or you eat, you smell, the fragrance reaches you. So all what these experiences are, they come before realization, before your complete abidance in self. And when the abidance in self comes, then only that is left. There's nothing else. Because the one who is experiencing all these fragrances or experience, that is like, it could be minimal ego, but there's still some ego left. There's a mind left which is engaging on all those experiences and liking it. And sometimes even looking for more of those experiences. But when you establish there, then who is going to experience what? There are not two. Till there is duality, you are still some distance from it. Like a lot of people who are bhaktas, coming from devotional path, they see God so many times. It's so beautiful. It's not easy to see God like in a form in front of you, and that God comes and God goes. So many people, even nowadays, it's not something from old age text. Still, there are so many bhaktas who see all sorts of gods. But there is a duality. Their mind is very pure. Their mind is always in God, and so they see God. But even that has to go one day. And what is left is nothing. Nothing is left actually. There's nothing there. It's only undifferentiated awareness, which is always persisting in all directions. Everywhere it is the same. Within us, without us. We divide things as animate, inanimate, objects. This is dead, this is alive. Everything, whether you call it dead or alive, I don't know, but undifferentiated, everything is awareness. Everything is awareness. That's why even these inanimate things also have reactions, which we call as chemical reactions. You add two different chemicals and you can see, boom, there is a steam, there is something going on. Where that energy is there, inherent in that dead, what you call as dead. See, even in science, we are so confused what is living, what is non-living. Virus used to be non-living, now they are living. Then there came prions, proteinaceous infectious organisms. Initially, we thought it's protein. Then we thought, oh, it's a proteinaceous infectious particle, it's living. So many things we don't know whether they're plant or whether they're animals. They belong to the zoonotic or which category we should divide. And then these comes people who teasers, splitters. They say this is this and this is this and no, this is divided. This is all just crap. You can keep doing. The God has not created things to say this is living, this is non-living, this is a plant, this is an animal. It is just undifferentiated awareness, which is just manifesting in so many different things. We human beings are trying to act smart. That's the problem. For everything, we have a classification. And these classifications keeps changing. Coming from medicine background, we have classification. Then there is a new book of classification. Then is a modified classification. Then classification by this and this, Peter and John et al. Then this newer classification. Oh, nothing ends. This is just our mind just wants to continue doing something or the other, just classifying, finding new things. Every day we find a new species. Every day we find a new star. Is this our life is for? To keep finding new stars and then after 100 years I have found 10,000 stars and I am dead? Then someone can say Sanjay Raghav discovered 10,000 stars, Nobel Prize for finding 10,000 stars. Is that life? Then someone finds something. Is that the game God is playing with us? That He has said that let's you guys find out all the stars and I'll be very happy. Is this the purpose of life? But every purpose in life is only that. Going deeper into something, scratching, going deeper, deeper, deeper. Because you go deeper, you will find something which others have not found. And it will add to what? To your ego. Maybe to community there might be some help. I'm not saying. But is this the only life what we know? It is not much difference as compared to someone who is playing video games all the time. Maybe the world will not accept it because world wants productive people who are creating some information. We say it is information technology. We all need data. We all need this. What do you go with data? Just garbage more in the mind. More garbage, more data means more garbage, If you have no ego, if you are humble, if you're loving, probably I think you are more worth to the society. But maybe if you are already contented and happy, you will not do too much of work. Maybe you will not create big castles or, whatever, or jobs. I don't know. Maybe you don't need anything for yourself. Maybe you will make more people like yourself who are happy in small stuff. It's not good for society. These people are not good for progress of the society. So saints and sages, that's why they are in caves, in Himalayas and forest. They'll just leave because they think nobody is going to listen to us. Who is interested in us? And they go into remote places, and people who are seekers, they have to travel distances. They go, they find them, and they get that grace and knowledge. And it is always the case. The word continues with all intelligent fools, educated fools. More educated we are, more cultured we are, more we are in the mind. We all look for respect in society. We have fear of what others will say to us. We have shame. We can shame others. Others can shame us. We have always a fear of others. If you ask this question to Bhagavan, what Bhagavan will say? There are no others.
Actually, this happened with Kunjaswami. Kunjaswami told our Ramanaji saying that I'm going to some mutt, Ishana mutt, and I'm going to learn Vedanta. Then started laughing. Bhagavan started laughing. This man could not understand Bhagavan. And after 2-3 minutes, Bhagavan told him that today you will say Vedanta, tomorrow you will say Siddhanta, like that it will be going on. But when are you going to practice sitting down quietly? That was the reply. So then he understood the point and he never left that place.
Yeah. And this is the thing, Bhagavan always said, if you ask them, a lot of people came to Bhagavan. Actually, they questioned Bhagavan that what are you doing sitting in this cave? Look, a lot of people are doing good work. You are of no worth. Why don't you help? He said, whom should I help? He said, help others. He said, but there are no others in my word. There are no others. You always see others. You want to help others. Who is helping? My ego. And then what will happen? Because I have compassion and I am giving and I'm helping. Who is this I am? If you question this I am dissolves. As soon as you dissolve, everything else dissolves. Everything else dissolves, only awareness is left. And so Bhagavan's teaching is the purest teaching only for a person who is interested in freedom. He's not mucking around with anything else. You go to those mathas and ashrams and so many dramas are going on and teachings of different levels. Nowadays, teachings are like you do an introductory course, then there is an intermediate course, and then there's an advanced course. And what is the difference between courses? First course is taught online. The second course is taught by disciple of disciple of disciple. And the last, most advanced course is taught by the yogi, the absolute authority in that sect. And what is the other difference? Then you have to pay from few $100s to thousands of dollars. What is this nonsense? This nonsense is actually very good for all materialistic people because they see things only in this way. You put more money, it's more worth. And a person with high repute is telling, then it is more worth. So it's good. It's good for intelligent fools. Freedom is here. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to look for anyone. When you look here, teacher will come to your room and will teach you. He will knock on your door when you are ready. When you are not ready, then you will get fooled. You can go everywhere and you can spend money, and then you cry that you are being trapped. But it is your mind because you are looking for those things. You're looking for trouble. Bhagwan never even showed, I should say not showed, but even he tried to hide all the powers which helped others. He always never discouraged, he shunned any of the siddhis. Things happened in his grace, in his presence, on his name. He never claimed, while a lot of people they just keep claiming that they are doing this, they are doing that. They are of no use. They are very low level of things. So to be free, you have to give up your closest and the thing which you mostly love, your ego. You have to give up that. If you keep that, God will not come to your heart. You have to vacate your heart. You have to dissolve ego, then only the God will take that place. Both cannot be there. You have to dissolve as ego. And what is left is then that pure Shiva, pure consciousness. And if it dissolves, then there's nothing else left. It's like a roasted seed, no more births. If, let's say, you don't believe in births and deaths, rebirth, but that's, leave it, at least in this life, we can say then that you are free. This freedom is not anything about extreme joy or hypomanic state. It is just something you know. You know what you are, that's all. And it gives so much of peace. And it somehow washes away your whole personality, which you have collected from so many births. It just washes away everything. It just cleans up everything. To an extent that you are useless to the society. You cannot talk to anyone about anything because there's nothing to talk. What would you talk? What would you interest you? You know, they always talk about that on path of spirituality, you have dispassion, you have vairagya. It is not like that. Those things, when you move, you transcend mind. You're not interested which car your neighbor has bought or which is a new movie in the town or someone's mother-in-law is not treating her well. Anything. Nothing, because there's nothing, you don't have that receptors which can make you interested in anything what this word gives. Because you have found that jewel within, which keeps you contented and happy. Not happy that you're jumping all around, but just something all around you has just changed, like this whole environment has changed. That thing which you were before, even if you want to be that again, and you go out and you want to talk like that again, just for the sake of just faking out that you are as stupid as you were before, that something here holds so dear to you that you can't talk, you can't think, you can't act like the way you were before, doing through that egoistic mind. Something just that is finished. Emotions comes and goes. Things comes and goes. Nothing has any significance. Nothing of this world is important, or more important, or less important. It's like the mind is just numb, it's dead. It does not take or receive or give, like a big void. I don't know what peace is. People say when you are looking for something you get, you feel peace. I don't think that is peace. That is more like, I have achieved. I think it's more like a proud moment in which you feel happy about your thing you have achieved, which is not that pure. Even even when the desire is fulfilled, and probably people say that you have back to yourself. No, you're back to self with a proud. There is a lot of covering is still there. But when you are just nothing, when you're always nothing, people say you are something, but you know that you're nothing. People call you by your name, but you don't even know that this is your name. You recognize it because otherwise people will think now he's definitely mad. But you have no significance of that name. Leave aside the prefix and suffix, they are all just useless things. This void is so dense, so deep, so prevailing that you don't have to do anything. It does everything for you. It brings food to your table. It does everything for you. It makes the body move. It makes others move around you. It brings things towards you what should be. It moves things away from you what it thinks is right. It knows what needs to be done at what time and what way perfectly. It is such a beauty. All your life you have lived as a doer. Now start living with this 5-star facility where everything is done for you. You just sit back and relax. And when you get so much of comfort, then who needs parties, who needs people, who needs gossip, who needs to go to visit a place, who is interested in new play in the town or new movie in theater? Who? Why? What for? All images look same. Nothing entices you. Maybe it would be so boring to some ego mind. What this life? What? Then what are you entertaining? What about entertainment and joys in life? What life are you leading? Is this a life? But you can't answer to that. See the type of life we lead and just then compare if Bhagwan, that young teenager, is living in cave, and then compare you when you were of that age, 16 or 17. And if you come across Bhagwan by mistake, what would you think? Oh, I don't know this person, what he's doing, sitting in a cave. He's not playing any games. He does not have friends. He does not go to bars, pubs. He's not doing anything. What is he? What a sickening life it is, isn't it? Wouldn't you think that way at that age? And maybe some people even now, maybe even after 30 years, maybe next 100 births. What makes the whole world behave in one way and a sage in such a different way? Because he has found something here which no one has found. And everyone is looking the same happiness outside. Okay, let's say I compare two people. One is looking happiness outside, and he is very lucky, and he gets everything what he wants. and the other one is looking deep within. He's a spiritual seeker looking happiness within. Who do you think will succeed whenever it happens? Whenever it happens, who will succeed? Let's say these two people are competitors. One a materialistic person, very nice person, not doing anything wrong, honest, hardworking, looking happiness outside in things. But he's an achiever and nice person. He also gives donations. He speaks truth. But he does not believe there is anything like God. He's not interested in any moksha, liberation. He just stays on his path of action and he wants to get happiness from outside. And then there is another person who wants to be there. And he strives, he makes efforts only for that, going deep within. Tell me who will succeed at the end. We all know that. How long will it take for the seeker to succeed? Not the time duration. It's all about intensity of his longing. More intense longing, more the grace dawns on him, more quicker it becomes. And how quickly the other person will get happiness. On the day when he realizes that the direction he is going is a wrong direction. And he turns back and starts doing what this seeker is doing. This is the creation of illusion, illusory word Maya. Everyone is in its trap. Irrespective whether he's a beggar, he's a Nobel laureate, he's a drug addict, he's an educated man, he's illiterate, he lives in whatever part of the world. Doesn't matter. It is like a big veil on everything, covering everything. And then there are openings like small lights. Let's say if you see the earth from the top, and only enlightened beings are like lights on earth. They'll be so small lights. Maybe one light in one country, or maybe one light in 10 countries, or maybe few lights in one country. Who knows? Or maybe few lights in one house. Who knows? But so less. Let's say we have our 10 years of or 5 years of what do you call us in which we do all the population survey. Can you ask government to add this one question? Census. In census, just one question. That is, anyone has any longing to know God or self or to realize God or liberation? Does anyone has? I think I'll be interested to know how many people will say yes in census of the country. I will be really surprised if 0.00001% people will say yes. How many people will say yes? And then out of those people, how many are really doing anything about it? Like just saying, yes, I'm interested in liberation, give me, but not making any efforts. Or someone might say, I met a guy, not recently, long time back. He said he has done and dusted all these things. And I said, really? He said, yes. He said, when I was a teenager, for 2 years, I was completely meditating every day. And then I asked him, what happened? He said, nothing happened, so I gave up. And now he was in his 40s. So So he tried at the age of 16 or 18, did it for 2 years, nothing happened, and he gave up. So there are a lot of people like that. That is why you have to go to a teaching which is pure and to the point. Bhagavan says you give up when you give up. You never give up. Efforts will become effortless when you are established. So when the practice needs to be given up, never. The practice will leave you when you are there. Let's say you're climbing stairs and you want to reach on the top. When you reach on the top, then you will climb somewhere. You are there. Till then, efforts are needed. But once you are in that effortless self-abidance, then no efforts are needed. But for that, you don't have to stop doing something. You must have seen. You can check. There are so many realized souls. I don't want to name everyone, but you can see they keep saying the japa even after the realization. You talk about giving up efforts. Some people ask how long. Just check these people. They all the time their hand is moving like this. They are doing japa. Ram, 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 Ram. They're saying all the time, even when they're sleeping. And they are realized for last 20 years, they're still doing it because it's so automatic, just happening. It's effortless now, actually. They're not doing it, but it's just happening. You have to have so much of intense. You have to have that motivation of an Olympic athlete. And this is what lacks in a lot of spiritual seekers. I have to say, but this is the thing. They are ashamed of their spirituality. They are ashamed of their seeking. They try to hide it. I'm not saying you should go out and do propaganda about it, but at least give time to it. Be serious about it. And it will happen. It has to happen. There's no way it will not happen. If it's not happening, all fault lies in you, not in grace. Grace is always there. If somehow something in you have desire to know the reality, to know the truth, that is grace. So grace is already working in you. But if it is not happening that fast enough, and if you are impatient about it, then what can be done? Just intensify your efforts, that's all. And efforts are what? Efforts are to keep quiet. Silently be a witness to everything, paying attention to awareness. Paying attention to awareness means being aware of only of awareness, not of your mind. Give mind complete rest. Just aware of awareness means that you are establishing yourself in what you are actually and not moving out of it. So your efforts are actually, everyone, if there are, let's say, 10,000 sects or religions, everyone say our path is direct and simple. But how direct can this be? What you have to be, you are that only. So just be that. Job is done. You don't have to take any path. There is no path here. It's a pathless path. Okay, you read any book on non-duality. What it says? You are pure awareness. Okay, what I'm saying, just stay as awareness. Where is this path? Where are you going? Where is the movement? No movement. Just stay as awareness. Let anything come. Mind come, emotions come, people come, planning come, suffering come. Let things come. You just stay. Who is asking you to move? Only your interest. I'm asking you, have no desire. Don't have likes, dislikes. Just give rest to the mind. Stay there. What will happen? Who will disturb you? No one can disturb you except your own interest in your mind, your thoughts. If you have no interest in that, if you have interest in Brahman, that's all finished. Game is finished. Nothing else needs to be done. Okay, let's say friends knock on your door. Let's go to party. You say, no, sorry. What will they? They will break open the door. Okay, let's say they break open the door. They take you. They force you. Like Bhagwan also was taken a couple of times by force to have a dinner or something. Let's say they take you. How does it matter? You can go there. You will sit. They can force you to dance. You can dance. But what will happen? That awareness nobody's taking away. It will stay. Even when you're dancing, even when you're going out with people, the awareness is there. You can still practice there. That is the secret. But does it happen with you that people forcefully take you? Or you go because you want to go? Tell me. If people are forcefully taking you and you're resisting and they're breaking open your door, I'll tell you, you will be free on that day. But if you are making plans, if you are indulging in your mind game, then don't blame to God that you are not free. Then don't cry, don't show crocodile tears that you are not free. Who has to flee from what? You are already free. Who are you? What do you think you are? Who is trying to get free? The one who is saying free, you have to be free from that only. So the best way is to keep quiet. Keep quiet internally. No demand. Who prays to God? What do you pray to God? First thing is, who prays? Is there any duality? If you are still praying to God, there is duality. And what do you pray? Do you ask things? Are you still a beggar? Asking for your daily bread? At least you have a desire for a daily bread, isn't it? And then you say you want to be free. You don't even have to ask for freedom. You are already free. He is there, sitting with open arms to hug you. You are the one who, he has given you a gadget called as mind and this whole image, and you have lost him. You have forgotten him. You are not interested in him. And you're just running around in everything. You have interest in everything except God. Recently I met someone who is going interstate, and he said, look, I'm going, and look, I don't know when we'll catch up, and look, life is too short and all these things. And I just said that so many lives you have lived, so many places you have gone. I think it's time to settle within. He said, oh, don't be philosophical about things. I'm not talking about these things. Leave it. People are so against, I should say. They can do a ritual of any religion, but they don't want to go there. They don't even want to touch that topic. And then people say, why there are so less people in this world who are free? Because nobody wants freedom. They're enjoying, though They are licking their own blood, but they think it's enjoyment. They have friends whom they hate. They gossip about their closest friends to others. The one who is missing party is the topic of gossip. This is Maya. Nobody wants freedom from the mind because we are mind addicts. We are all mind addicts. Till you are a mind addict, you cannot be free. You have to be free from this mind addiction only. Love that supreme. Remember that supreme. Love that absolute. The best way to remember absolute is to be absolute, to stay in that awareness, that impartial presence, where you lose your identity completely, where you can't remember your name, who you are. You have no knowledge of your mind, your body, your profession, your family, your country, nothing. Where everything dissolves. Be that fire in which everything burns away. Be that flame all the time. And don't just be a small flame. This self-effulgent flame should be so bright that it burns away even anyone else who comes closer to you. Burns away everyone's ego who comes closer to you. Be that fire. So people who are egoistic, who wants to preserve their ego, will run away from you or will criticize you. And the ones who wants to be like you will turn exactly like you when they come in close contact to you. Just don't be a small fire. Go deeper, and this fire will just finish off. Don't just think about this body mind. Everything which comes across it. Not for half an hour or 1 hour or satsang period or morning or night, all the time. Be that pure fire all the time. Don't give any importance to mind for any reason, in any situation, for any time. Irrespective of three states of your mind body, whether it's waking, whether it's dream, whether it's deep sleep, whether today after 20 years, doesn't matter. And it's not a statement of convenience when it's good times, when it's the worst time in your life. All the time. It's not coming and going. It's not coming and going. It is firmly in that pure awareness all the time, where no doubt stays, no seeking is left, where there is no seeker left. Whether in this situation body is suffering from 100 diseases, or the people, nobody likes you, but something here knows the truth so well that it can stand on its own even if the whole world is against you. That conviction, that seeing is so clear that nobody can ask you, can force you to speak something other than that. Be that firm, go that deep. Don't play superficially as a wave, taking a small dip, having some blissful experience, and then behaving like a fool in this world. So let's say You are in that self abidance, and I catch up you doing a stupid act, or anyone sees you in that stupid act, will that happen? Can that happen? This is the most alert state, if I can say state, in which everything is so transparent and clear and vigilant that no darkness can be there in the mind, in the body, in anything, because this pure awareness is purest of pure. No one can see it, but yes, who wants to feel can feel it. And the grace is always coming from there. Whatever you do or don't do, or stay home, stay with family, or single, doesn't matter. Nobody can disturb you except your own mind. If you have this firm conviction that you will give your 100% energy to abide in pure awareness, 100% energy, whatever happens, whatever comes, then who can disturb you? Don't blame anyone. If you want to blame anyone, that is your own mind. Not even mind, your interest in mind. If mind is saying something and you are not keen about it, then who can disturb you? So don't move whatever comes. Be that firm. If something makes you move, then use your second defense mechanism, prayer. Not pray for your daily bread. Pray that please let me abide in my pure consciousness. Pray to that self. If you have no guru, no teacher, no God you believe in, no teachings you believe, pray to this self, pure self, yourself, that please show me yourself, show me myself. You can create your own prayer, whatever works for you. But be sincere in your efforts. Only sincere and humble efforts count, nothing else. And who knows more than your own self? This pure self knows more than what you think you know. Because from where you talk is the mind, where the self is the purity. To touch purity, you have to give up all impurity. And to give up all impurity in one smash is by ignoring the mind completely and abiding in pure awareness and never looking back. It can entice you in so many ways that it can give you this, it can give you that. And I'll tell you honestly, if you believe me, if you don't go with your mind, self will give you 100 times more everything what mind promises. But if I say and your mind thinks it, then it's again a mind trap. So there's no point in saying this also. Because what you need, self knows the best, not your mind, not your ego. You are here up to this level, whatever your life is, that's because self knows. If self put you in this situation, there are best chances of coming back home in your situation. So everyone's situation is different. In your situation, this is the shortcut to come back home. I think someone has put a message there. How do you increase the intensity of longing? I think James has asked me. By attending satsang, by having a holy company, by meeting people who are having intense longing. So that intense longing should also rub to you. By praying to the self or to the God or that to absolute, that give me that intense longing. And by not engaging in other things. So that intense longing will come when that is the only thing you desire of in your life, nothing else, to the exclusion of everything else. And when you live like that, then even a, a, a crumb given you as food would be a prasad, it would be a blessing. Even one cloth on the body will be such a big thing. You will think it's a big blessing. This is the way it works. Now we have hundreds of dresses, so many shoes, people have, so many pair of shoes, whatever. We have no importance. But then everything counts. You become miser, you become minimalist. Bhagwan used to pick up even each grain, everything in the kitchen. He said, I will not waste even one grain of Arunachala. Arunachala means God, He's giving it. Why should we waste anything? Then that is the grace, that is the love. That is abundance. When you have nothing and something comes and it's a blessing. That is why in India, in the past, for a seeker, begging was such a good thing, because it makes you more humble and you don't plan. Because how can you plan today? You want to have a burger, or you want to have a pasta, whatever the leftovers the family wants to give you, you have to take that and you have to eat that. And maybe if you go to 10 different doors, no one will give you food on that day, and you have to just sleep without food. Bhagavan did it. He used to beg. And he used to beg only with his hand. Whatever used to come in hand, he used to eat and then wash his hands on his back and just move around. What a freedom. Only a seeker can know that this is the pure freedom. So, longing is the only thing, You can only ask for longing, and longing is there, and longing should go more deeper. Pray for it. Thank you, everyone.